Well, team, welcome back to Next Level JJ, and we've got a very serious question to answer. The question is, what is the best sounding car in the world ever? Now, a few weeks ago had this thought. I was like, you know what? I love cars. I'm a massive car fan, have driven many cool cars, but also, just follow the news and everything. And I thought, well, hang on. Let's have a bit of fun. What is the best sounding car? Now, let me be clear. This is a mini series where I'm going to be driving 7 cars, and each of them I'm just going to have fun with, and we're going to explore the audio of them. Now, key thing here is this is in Assetto Corsa. This is not real life, though I will show a little bit of a video of each car so we can get a bit of feeling for it. It's never going to be the same as it is in real life. Hopefully, if all goes well, one day I can experience these cars from the driver's seat myself. Now, the cars for the series are simple. We have, in no particular order, we'll start from one side, move across to the other. We have the Ford Mustang GT 350. Oh, no, wait. Don't click away. Trust me when I say, as a V8, they are amazing ones. I've driven the Ferrari 458 Speciale. That is pretty damn amazing. But this is from an American muscle sound. Just for me, one of the best sounding V8s of all time. So we'll drive that at some point. Now, the Lamborghini SVJ is just one of the most revved cars, I think, ever. But that with an F1 exhaust, like a Gintani or whatever, peak audio orgasm, I guess. Then, of course, the Aston Martin Valkyrie is also just on another level, and one of my personal favorites, the car that's on my dream board that if I make it to the top I will buy, Pagani Zonda Cinque. I would take the Roadster, and I'd have spec 505. That's the one that's in the Pagani Museum. By the way, go check out the Pagani Museum if you're ever in Modena near Maranello. Then, and I'm sure everybody will agree, the Lexus LFA, the one that broke the champagne glass, the exhaust tuned by Yamaha, for goodness sake. Amazing. Then we have the Porsche Carrera GT. Now, I think everybody by now knows that this is probably going to be one of the top cars. It is just absolutely amazing. But we will start, and we're not driving all of these cars today. We are going to be doing them in short little, 1 hour, 2 hour streams, and then we're going to edit this together at the end. But the car we're going to drive today, and maybe the moving background's a little bit of a giveaway, is the car I'm going to show you next. Check this out. Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, the Gordon Murray Automotive T50. Yes, that is a fan on the back of the car. We'll talk about that in a second. Absolutely. Go check out DK Engineering. Link is in the description below. What an epic video. I tried to find a video that captures the essence of it, and that one was the best. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be driving the Gordon Murray Automotive T50. Now, important. This list is my list, and there are definitely cars that when somebody mentioned, I'm going to be like, oh my God, how did I forget about that? So please, in the comments below, tell me what cars you think needs to be on this list, and I will for damn sure go and check them out. Of course, these are road cars. You know, the Mazda 787 is, for me, the best sounding race car of all time, but then there are other amazing ones as well. I want to hear from you. Let's start with road cars, and if the series does well and we get a lot of people involved, then I'll do a race car one as well. Hell, we'll even do motorbikes. Why not? Now, best way to get in touch, head over to nextleveljj.com. My Discord link is there, my socials are there, my schedule is there. So if you want to find out more, just go over there. Everything you need is there. Then, of course, awesome music as always. Stream Beats by Harris Heller. They're on Spotify, but if you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, link will be in the description. Oh, okay. So, shall we talk Gordon Murray Automotive? So, if you don't know what Gordon Murray Automotive is, that's okay. It is something of a bit of a specialty car. So, first and foremost, Gordon Murray. Gordon Murray is basically the godfather of the McLaren F1, still to today by most people agreed to be the ultimate car of its age. I think if you drive a new car versus the McLaren F1, there will be some mod cons that are better, but in general it was groundbreaking. And Gordon Murray is an ex-F1 designer. He was with McLaren at that stage. Funny enough, I think the McLaren F1 was drawn on a napkin at an airport as the start, and don't quote me on that, but Gordon Murray, South African, basically was one of the absolute geniuses of our time in Formula One. And then when he started doing the McLaren F1, there was no compromise, no stone left unturned, no cost was too high. He built the ultimate car, not for racing, but for pure driving pleasure, and it was all about lightness. Gordon Murray sweats 1 gram when it comes to stuff. Anyway, so the McLaren F1 was huge, did extremely well, but then many years later, Gordon Murray decided, you know what, now is the time to take everything that annoyed him about the F1 and improve it, upgrade it, make a new McLaren F1. And so the T50 was born. So in 2021, it started. Now, this car has many amazing things to talk about. But I think if we just go down here, let's just touch on the Ayrton Senna. So aerodynamics is a big part for Gordon Murray's cars, being an ex-F1 engineer, duh. But a big thing is he doesn't like big wings and spoilers and stuff. He likes to use advanced technology to bring out the best versions of the car. And so this car features many hidden secrets that most people on the street won't notice it. By the way, this car is the same size as a Porsche Boxster or Cayman. It is very small. It seats 3 people. It has big luggage spaces on each side. You're sitting in the middle. It is a genius of a car considering how small it is. Gordon Murray doesn't care about stats. He doesn't care about, 0 to 100s and lap times and stuff. It's all about pure driving pleasure. Sorry, BMW. There's no BMW engine in this right now. But yes, so aerodynamics is something you like to have hidden. So this car has active aerodynamics, like most cars. McLaren was one of the pioneers of that. But basically, it's all about managing airflow underneath the car. The Venturi effect. If you take a plane, you imagine a plane is, a wing shape. You flip it upside down, and what does it do? It pushes the car down. So you don't have to have these big-ass wings pushing it down. The car underneath sucks it. But what was the key to, and funny enough, a lot of people didn't know this about the McLaren F1. The McLaren F1 did actually have a fan. And the whole point is as you follow the cars underneath, basically there's a point where it starts to curve up, and that curve up causes a better suction or a area of low pressure, is it? I think. Sorry, I'm not an aerodynamicist. And basically helps bring the car down. The steeper you can make that angle, the more efficient it works. But the problem is the air disconnects from that if you have too steep a curve. And so what a fan does is it pulls that air into the steep curve, giving you more downforce for the same size. And so, yes, there is a big ass fan. Now, Gordon Murray pioneered the fan car back in the day with, was it Brabham? Was it Brabham? Brabham? I think it was, sorry. By the way, we have to drive that car sometime on the stream. But yes, so it was basically an unreal performance advantage. I think they raced once, they won, and then it was like, no, we can't have that in Formula One. But yes, so it has a rear-mounted 40 centimeter fan that rapidly accelerates air passing under the car, forcing it through the active control ducts that in turn form part of the rear diffuser. Now, there's many other amazing things about the aerodynamics. We can go into it for a long time, but I think this is one of the key features. It is a fan car, and so very interesting. When you drive at high speed, it actually accelerates the air into a way that it makes it more like a long tail, and so it makes it more efficient through the air. It's not necessarily about sucking the car down all the time, though in the T50S that is one of the things. Now, by the way, I'm not a T50 expert, let me be clear, but I do love it. And you know, when you have that top 10 list of cars you want to own in your life, this is definitely one of them. Lightweight. Gordon Murray is obsessed with weight. His favorite car to drive is the Alpine A110, and you know, it is a car that's purely focused on lightness. It's not about massive engine, it's about lightness, because the moment something's light, you don't need as big brakes, you don't need as hardcore suspension, you need all these things, and so it kind of becomes the cyclical advantage, and it just gets better and better and better. So, but look at this, for instance, look at these pedals. By the way, if you want to see the key of this, basically imagine this pedal here, but in the shape of a key. One of his designers came to him and he was like, that's amazing. But every gram is sucked out of this car. Look at that cockpit seating. Remember, you're sitting in the middle. Beautiful gear lever. Now, I won't show the videos. Unbelievable suspension. But the car's dry weight, which I always say you add about 100 kilograms on top of that to have its true weight, is an under 997 kilograms. That is insane. Most cars today, performance cars, 1.6 to 1.8 tons, so almost double the weight. And remember, this thing's got a beefy engine as well, so unbelievable. Yeah, everything, no stone was left unturned when they wanted to make this car lighter. Now, the engine is probably one of the absolute standouts for this car, and of course the whole point of the series is the best sounding car in the world. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is a Cosworth V12. All right, unbelievable. Okay, so I'll read this because it's important. The T50 is powered by the lightest, highest revving, most power dense, naturally aspirated V12 engine ever fitted to a road car. It produces 617 PS, that is 172 PS per liter, and redlines at an astonishing, which we will experience today, 12,100 RPM. Such stratospheric performance has not come at expense of usability, on-road, blah, blah, blah. Newton meters of torque, very important. And I think if you watch the videos of Gordon Murray talk about this car, he was actually surprised when Cosworth came to him and said, we don't need driving modes, we can just give enough torque at the bottom. But yeah, this is one of the absolute greatest parts of this car. And remember, this car weighs very little, so this engine doesn't have much to push. Transmission, of course, it had to be a manual. Interesting, I believe Gordon Murray did have the option of an automatic gearbox, and I think it was like 99% of the people went, no thank you, we would like a manual, so it was actually scrapped. But only 82 kgs for a gearbox. Are you kidding me? You imagine any people that get a phone call from Gordon Murray and he's like, I need you to make me something. They go, yay, but in the background they're like, oh shit, we have to make the lightest thing ever. Beautiful. Extract is, of course, one of the all-time greats when it comes to that. Exterior, you know what? For me, when I saw this car the first time, I wasn't blown away by it. I didn't think it was that beautiful. But I think it's one of those things, two things. One is when you see it in real life, proportions start making sense. But also, as time evolves, it's these cars that look really cool now, that look perfect now, they don't age well. Look at BMWs. They come out, we're always like, what the hell is that? And then after a period of time, they start getting better. And before you know it, you look at a BMW that's 10 years old and you're like, that looks right now. So I do think that is something that Gordon Murray here does well. Okay, so exterior, you know, the car is super small. The McLaren F1 had extremely unique tires that were expensive and blah, 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 blah. Now they just run on standard Michelin Pilot Sport 4Ss, or probably now 5S. You know, you can go buy them at any dealer, which is crazy. But look at how beautiful these proportions are. 3 seats. Engine, these panels here open up on both sides to reveal the engine, firstly, but perfect bespoke luggage that you can slot in beside on each side. So Gordon Murray wants this car not to just be driven, but he wants it to be a GT, a car that people can cross continents with, and it's absolutely nailed it. Any videos you see of people driving these things, there's only one thing on their minds, and that's a massive smile. But look at that beautiful design. The central snorkel that sucks air into the engine and also, of course, feeds air, I believe, into the fan as well. But amazing. Clean design. These active aero, they only pop up at a certain speed, dual exit exhaust, beautiful headlights, and then of course Brembo carbon ceramics, beautiful. And then interior, key, it is stripped down. It's all about weight, but there was so much attention paid by Gordon Murray and the team to the tactility, the way things feel. Now, a dream of mine is to drive this, or at least sit in it and feel it, because everything, every button, every switch was not just chucked into it. It was tested and felt to get the right weight, weight and weighting and what it feels like when you operate it, but also the way it feels. Is it cold to touch? You know, there's resistance, everything. So just an automotive, you know, pièce de résistance of an interior, because when you're in it, you don't need all the mod cons and all of that stuff. You just want a big ass dial in front of you, your gear knob right where your hand is, and this stunning view outside. Very McLaren F1 in the way things are set up, with the switch you need to turn to reach reverse. And then of course there are those buttons. I believe that these were actually all knobs. They were made by watchmakers, or at least they were thinking about the same technology. Oh, I tell you what, team, that is just such a pleasure for us to live in this time where this car exists. Why I say that is because these cars won't exist forever. Unfortunately, they will. Well, you never know. There might be some changes in the future. But cars that have these sort of engines and performance are probably going to be phased out as time goes by. And so being able to see these cars come out and purchase them, if you've got the money, it's an amazing experience. Okay, enough of that. Let's go and drive this puppy. All right, so shall we go on down? Now let me just quickly pop myself over here. So this is the cockpit of the McLaren T50. Sorry, McLaren. The GMA Gordon Murray Automotive T50. We are, as I said, in Assetto Corsa not Evo, just plain Assetto Corsa OG, and that's because of the mods that you can get. By the way, the links to all the mods of the series that I'm using are in the description on YouTube and Rumble, so don't be shy. But that's the key of Assetto Corsa. At this point, I think Evo is very soon going to probably enable modding, because that's what makes people come back to the game. But yeah, this game, this mod, absolutely fantastically done. One of the most beautiful. Actually, let me just quickly double check the people who made this mod. There we go. I'll turn that song up as well because I just love it. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the team of MNBA, Adrian SU, GMA T50. There's quite a few of them out there, but the key thing here is this one, in my opinion, has the most realistic audio. Beautiful interior as well, and so forth. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, link is in the description, but as you can see, just Patreon posts, Gordon Murray T, you'll probably find them very quickly there. What are the feedbacks? Yeah, super cool. Absolutely nailed it. Okay, shall we take it for a spin? I think so. And of course, we've got our pedal cam over here. So yeah, we're going to turn that music down. Now, the audio is turned up quite high, and that does mean that you're probably not going to hear me that well. But let's be honest, this is all about what is the best sounding car. And so I would assume that we need to experience it. Now, I have set the timer to be quite quick, so we're going to go into a night cycle very rapidly, but okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a road car. It is a car that people can take to go buy milk. And they have space for bread as well. And it's a manual. It's got a clutch. I almost want to make it a rule that you can't have a best-selling car unless it's manual. Whew. All right. All right. All right. So we take it for a spin. Ooh, and a nice little scratch there. Now, it's going to be old tires. Now remember, this is a road car, and it's not set up for the Nürburgring. Woo. And I haven't driven it on this track yet, so... Okay, now, I don't know how to turn my lights on.
A few moments later.
Alright, so, there we go, lights are working. One way to warm up the tires. Tires are cold. So what do we think so far, team? Is this car sounding good? Right now, I've got two people sitting next to me, one on my left shoulder, one on my right. Probably shitting themselves a little bit. Look at the speed. Oh, that was bad. Trying to change camera angle while doing one of the most dangerous corners. We can only have one car. To be fair, mine would be the Pagani, but this would be pretty close. Bit of understeer there. Man, this car is so damn good. And it's quite light. And she just loves shifting up in high gear and down as well. Such a dangerous corner, in my opinion. Go! T50. Oh, I don't know if there's anything feeling better in Assetto Corsa than this. T50. Not sure of the downforce here. And this car is not set up for the Nürburgring. So I am driving it off the curbs. I want to touch them. She wanted to let go there, that's for sure. Oh, the engine response is almost instantaneous. Oh, what a beautiful sunset. Beautiful third gear, perfect for this section here. Oh, just floating shadow. There we go, U2 corner. You can feel it's a road car. There are certain parts where a bit more downforce would help. Maybe a better tire. Remember, this was never designed for the track. But the brakes, because the car's so light, it just stops when you need it to. Alright team, here we go. Oh, can we hit 300? Yes, we can. This is just me making sexy noises, I know. Ooh, wow, 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 wow. There we go. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Unbelievable. Like, even better than I thought it would be. So good. The thing is like, when it comes to acceleration and braking, this car is unbelievably good because it's so light. Every time I'm like, oh crap, I'm braking too late, I flush or flatten the brake pedal and she just goes, yep, I'm good, no problem, no problem. But it's in the turns where I remember this car's going an awful lot of kilometers per hour, and so it's there where I think the tire is starting to let go, but also the aerodynamics is probably, as I mentioned, you know, one of the things that if you wanted to take this proper balance, its acceleration, its braking with corner ability, you're going to need to add some more active aerodynamics. And that, my friends, is why there is a T50S. Yes, that is the track only Gordon Murray, and that one's got fixed wings and fan is always turned up to max. It's got slicks. You know, Chris Harris just drove one recently and just said it was probably the best car he's ever driven. So, you know, definitely go check that out. But damn. Shall we go for another spin? Ugh. This is going to be a fun series, and that's going to be pretty hard to beat. If you think of it, I mean, the cars that I listed before. So I'll repeat. It's the Shelby GT350R Ford Mustang. Now, you would go, there's no way it can beat it. Just wait. This car is amazing in its own right. The Lamborghini SVJ with a Gintani or F1 exhaust. Peak performance, but also noise. The Aston Martin Valkyrie, also a Cosworth V12. Different type of car. That car around the Nürburgring will have to do setup beforehand, because if that thing hits curbs in a good way, that thing's gonna fly. But unbelievable. My favorite, hang on, Pagani Zonda. Oh, will it focus? No. Pagani Zonda Cinque. For me, the Roadster, number 5 of 5. Unbelievable. By the way, if you are going to Italy and you do love cars, you must go to Modena. You must go to the Pagani factory and see what is, in many people's opinion, the pinnacle of craftsmanship, art, performance, all together under one brilliant Argentinian in Italy. Go there. But then, of course, you might as well just pop over to Maranello, and of course you've got Lamborghini as well. By the way, if you do, head over to one of the places where you can rent a Ferrari and go drive it. It is a must experience.
Ready? Push.
But anyway, Pagani Zonda. Then we have the Lexus LFA, the Porsche Carrera GT. Now, I'd love to hear from you. When do you want, not when, which car of those I listed before would you like to have next? I have them in no particular order. Do you want the Porsche Carrera GT, the Lexus LFA, the Pagani, the Aston Martin Valkyrie, the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, or the Mustang? So head down into the comments, or hell, just join my Discord. You know, we got a nice group of people there. We have a specific Assetto Corsa chat area, so you can jump in there. Anytime you're doing a race or something, you can pop in and say who wants to join. It'll be good to hear from you. But yeah, this has been fun. Again, it's a short one, but I will be doing many of these, and then ultimately at the end, we'll compile this into a full video, and then, of course, announce the winners. All right, team, of course, thanks as always. Stream Beats behind this, Harris Heller, they're the Shizzle and Nizzle. Check them out on Spotify. By the way, their music is so varied. Now we listen to I Hate Mondays. Who doesn't? But just go check them out. They've got chill music, pop music, rock music, everything. And you can use it to stream for free if you are a streamer. Okay, we're going to call it there, but I'd love to hear from you. What did you think of this? Do you want to see more of this type of content? Don't be shy. Head in the comments. Let's have a bit of a battle. What do you think is the best sounding car of all time? And then, of course, if you enjoyed this, give us a like. And, of course, if you want to see this, give us a follow or subscribe. Anyways, have an awesome day wherever you are. We'll catch up soon. See you soon. Ciao.